Good morning. Let me turn this music down. How's everyone doing today? Is that there? It's good? Okay, not too bad. Anyway, hi, it's Wednesday, hump day. Right? It is Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, it's hump day, because I saw it trending on Twitter, hump day. By the way, I highly recommend you never click hump day on Twitter. It's just, well, let's just say, okay, wait a minute. Let's just say that you'll see things that you really didn't want to see. I'm just saying, there are people who believe that the hump day hashtag is the place to show your naughty bits. And there's like no discretion, boy, I'll tell you. They don't care what parts they see. They'll show you stuff that you really didn't ask for. And it's amazing how many people, how many things people put in that there's certain things, and holy shit. Oh, good God, I shouldn't have even clicked that. I need some eye bleach. Anyway, today we're going to talk about things that the Uniparty didn't want you to see and how they're reacting like a bunch of, I don't know, crying hyenas or something, like the hyenas who bit the lion too many times and the lion bit back or something like that. Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I have other things, but I swear to God, I may never get to anything but this because, oh boy, they are mad. They're mad, and they're just, whoo, boy, oh boy, the media, we showed you Chuck Schumer yesterday, right? Well, he's not the only one. By the way, Chuck Schumer, the smarmy prick from New York. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boomer, this comes off as old man yells at clock. Are you talking about me? Holy moly, schmoly, cannoli. Let's just, shall we? All right, stop that music. Hold on. Stop it. All right, Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Yes, that's me. Hello, everybody. Stop the music, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel on this lovely Wednesday, hump day, the 8th of March, 2023. Oh, wait, wait a minute. Did I miss my friend's birthday? Was it yesterday? Or is it March 10th? Hang on, I got to check something here. Did I completely, I hope I didn't blow off my friend's birthday. They would have said something yesterday, right? No, no one texted it. I think it's March 10th. Oh, it is March 10th. Never mind. Oh, I was going to feel bad that I didn't wish my friend a happy birthday. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's March, almost the Ides of March, almost St. Patrick's Day, which is a holiday in which I, as being half Irish, should celebrate heartily, although I didn't know I was half Irish until I was about 38 years old, but that's okay. But let me give you a programming note. On January 8th, what the hell am I talking about? On March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, I am going to be on a channel with someone called Jessica Reloaded. Now, Jessica Reloaded, a while back, her channel got completely nicked, like completely just taken off the planet. But with the help of a lot of big YouTubers and people bitching at YouTube, whatever, on Twitter, her channel got reinstated and she's all good now. So she invited me to come on and we're going to make fun of some things that people will make fun of, or videos and stuff like that. I don't even know what we're doing. I'm going on her channel. We're going to have some fun, and I'll remind you that's on Friday, the 17th of March. So that's exciting. Other than that, let's say good morning, everybody, and just get this started since I'm running late today. Good morning first on Rumble. Avocados Diablo is the first guy in the chat. Thank you, sir. You get the bell. Good morning, Simon Wolfwood and Tall Person. And Tall Person, the first donor of the day, drops in a donation, says, can't stay, so I'll like, share, and give my annual reminder that today is both International Women's Day. Oh, goodness gracious. And National Be Nasty Day. Now, Be Nasty Day. That's an interesting one. So, it's Miss Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Yeah, my first name ain't baby. It's Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So, happy Janet Jackson Be Nasty Day, I guess. On YouTube, first in the chat, was Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. And Trippy Liberty, who is one day older after the last, well, I guess it was 2 days ago, but Trippy Liberty is in the house. Also, Thomas Ledwick. Happy birthday to Thomas Ledwick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Thomas. Happy birthday to you. Welcome to the show. Also, good morning, HP Lovecraft, who says, don't kill the messenger. Stop the messenger. RNA. Also, Arnold wants you to screw your freedom, but not be a Holocaust enabler. Don't know how they work together. Now, yeah, I heard about Arnold giving some speech or something about anti-Semitism. I heard it was actually pretty good, but still, Arnold, screw your freedoms, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm wary. I mean, he's kind of a Mitt Romney Republican. I think of him when I think of Arnold. Although I did enjoy his movies back in the 80s. They were always over the top and silly and, perfect venue for Arnold to do his thing. Also, good morning. I said HP Lovecraft. Good morning to Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost. How you doing, Tyre? Good morning, Tex AG. Evan. Y'all know what I'm doing when I do that, right? Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies in the house. Simon Wolfwood's here. Maddie's in the house. Good morning, Tyler F's. Oh, I almost said the wrong name. Rotten Corpse is here. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. What up? Who else? Anybody else here? Septus Wolf's here. Attack Alpaca. What up? Good morning, Shrapnel. Oh, this thing skipped on me. Shrapnel and Don Julio, Gulf City Biker, and Trash Man is here. Those Ain't Real Dude is here, though that's a name that got changed recently. I can't remember who it was, but welcome back. GDSOB's in the house, and is that everybody? Was that everybody? Oh, and Mr. Scott. What's up, Mr. Scott? Nice to see you back. It's nice to get you here occasionally. When you can get here, I appreciate it. So, also real quick, thank you all the people who tweeted out the show. This is awesome. Simon Wolfwood, Tyler F. Let's see, Tall Person, Swamp Fox Ghost, Maddie, and Jimmy Das Hotep who's here somewhere. Yeah, that's everybody. So that's cool. Oh, and I see Cracked is in the house, and I see it. So anyway, Tucker Carlson, small group of people, which included the leaders of the Democratic Party, and they're out. Oh, so yeah, so yesterday we spent a lot of time on Tucker Carlson's report on some of the footage from January 6, 2021, the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. Oh, these people. That's a quote from Joe Biden, by the way. But we saw a lot of footage that the January 6th committee and the news media just really didn't care to show you. So Tucker, who was given access to a lot of this footage, decided to show some footage and showing that, some of these people who came through the Capitol building that day really weren't, they weren't causing a lot of problems. Now, granted, there was good and there was bad, and there was very bad on that day. But a lot of these people who've been charged, I don't even know if they've been charged yet. They haven't. A lot of these people they have in jail, for example. There's people who have been in jail for being in or on the grounds of the Capitol for almost 2 years now without a trial. Okay. Now, in the United States of America, you're innocent until proven guilty. Oh, and without bail or bond. They've basically been put in prison for 2 years. Some of them, a lot of them, put in solitary confinement during these 2 years. And still without a trial. And so some of those people are in trouble because they were in the Capitol. They've identified people who are in the Capitol. And in fact, apparently, I think even as of yesterday, the FBI was saying they're still out there getting information and data and whatever on these people. And first of all, that's against the law. Literally, there's a law about federal crimes that they have to be adjudicated within a certain amount of time. However, the judges, well, there's basically one judge in particular that's doing most of these cases, and they keep allowing the prosecutors to delay the cases. And granted, there's a lot of cases, right? But a lot of these people didn't do anything but walk into the building. And there's proof of that. And it's in these 40,000 hours of footage that have not been accessible to their own attorneys. And so now Tucker Carlson has some of this footage, and he's showing it on TV and showing you, there's some nuance to what happened once people got in the Capitol. And I was thinking about this a lot yesterday after the show. And there's a couple things that stand out from what we watched yesterday. And it's very interesting. Good morning, Chicago Mike, by the way. The one thing is just sticking in my brain from yesterday is that the Trump organization had a federal permit to have a rally on the Capitol grounds, okay? Not where the people ended up, in the front on those stairs and on the walls where they were climbing up and all that area where they went in. But on the side of the building, on this grassy area in the building at the Capitol, okay? They had a permit to be there. Hello, Randall Stevenson. How are you doing? With the Democrats and rhinos holding all the power, you really think the Constitution applies to these poor souls? Well, there needs to be somebody. I'm going to answer the question, and then I'll keep on my thought here. There needs to be somebody who says, hey, if we can't get a ruling from this court, we need to get a ruling from a higher court. And if we can't get a ruling from that higher court, we need to get a ruling from the entire en banc higher court. And if they can't get a ruling from the en banc higher court, they need to go to the Supreme Court. Because this is right now, some of these people have been in there, like I said, nearly 2 years. I think it was 300 days. There's over 100 people that have been in there 300 days that have not gone to court yet. There's a federal law that says that I think you have to, first of all, process these cases, I think within 75 days or something like that. I don't know what the exact number of days is. I know it's a much shorter time than they've been in there. And there are some constitutional issues here. The fact that many of these people have kept in solitary confinement, cruel, unusual punishment, particularly for the fact that in the United States, you're innocent until proven guilty. Okay. Now, a lot of these people, I think 300 or 400 of these cases, all have already pled guilty because they've been being kept in these, kept in jail. And they just said they gave up. And I think a lot of those cases, if they would have had these tapes, this video evidence, that would at least have allowed them to argue that some of the charges against them are BS, okay? And because most of the charges are misdemeanor charges too, but they've tried to trump up these charges, no pun intended, to at least including a felony in each of these people's cases. And if you had the the evidence that they should have been able to access, they could have showed that, hey, no, we didn't do any felons. We just walked in the building. Okay. So anyway, let me go back to what I was talking about here. So the fact that they had a permit, the Trump organization had a permit for this because they had the rally at the Ellipse, right? And then they had a permit to have continue their rally at the Capitol. So basically, you had the rally at the Ellipse. Then there was going to be this big march of all the people who were at the Ellipse to go to the Capitol. And they had a permit out of an area at the Capitol. And so I started thinking about this yesterday because what ended up happening is during the speeches that they were having at the Ellipse, some people... in fact, I'll call it the Ray Epps wave. The Ray Epps wave of people breached the barriers to the Capitol grounds, to the area that was the most direct route from the Ellipse to the Capitol building, right? Even though the rally that was supposed to take place was on another part of the Capitol grounds, the most direct route was where the Ray Epps wave push their way through those barriers. So now this pathway from the Ellipse to the Capitol building had been breached. Now what's interesting is they only had 2 or 3 officers, at least that you could see in the video, at that particular point, right? So now these people who breached there during Trump's speech, remember Trump's speech, Trump was still in the middle of his speech when this happened. So now you got this area that's basically a clear path because already people are going through this area. And now the Trump thing gets over, and about roughly an hour later, those people start coming where this barrier is already broken. So, and they already see people at the Capitol. So where would they naturally go? Even though, again, the part that the fact that they had a permit, I want to know exactly what part of the Capitol grounds they had set for this permit. So it wasn't like Trump told his rally to go over there because, oh, we want you to go breach the Capitol. No, he wanted them to go over there because they had another designated spot that they had reserved for continuing the rally at the Capitol building. So when they get there and all these people are already up there, those people are going to naturally go where people are already at. And it's I'm trying to process this, the fact that this Ray Epps wave, Ray Epps not a Fed at all, of course. Ray Epps is not a Fed. Oh, by the way, and also here's another weird thing. You'll get to it. One of the reasons I'm being a little careful is because YouTube has taken down another stream, a streamer I know who does kind of similar shit to what I do, although he's much more wild than I am, took down his stream midstream yesterday, talking about this revelation, the Tucker Carlson tapes or video revelations, right? So anyway, so the part that I'm getting to here was the fact that they had this federal permit on part of the grounds because they knew they were going to have more than this X number of people. If they had all gone to that area as planned, there would have been no problem whatsoever. So the fact that there is a group during Donald Trump's speech breaking the barriers where the easiest path to the Capitol was, and no police officers directing them to the area that they were supposed to be in, that's what my biggest question. Why were there not officers knowing that the Trump organization had a permit for this other area? Why weren't they directing them to that area where they were already set up to have those people? So it just gets curiouser and curiouser. Okay. Good morning, Jeff Overturf. Tucker said New York Times should do an expose on how much Mitch the Turtle lives nicely on Chinese cash. His Republican guest didn't know what to say and looked surprised. Okay, well, we're going to get into some reactions now because I am, as I said in my description and the pre-show or pre-intro, the reactions are hilarious. We saw Chuck Schumer yesterday give his little apoplectic speech on the floor of the Senate yesterday. And boy, he's not the only one. So we're going to get into that. But let's see. Let's start with this. because there's a couple things trending on Twitter related to this. One of them's Anderson Cooper, and everyone's favorite CNN anchor person, who is a direct descendant and heir to the Vanderbilts, the second wealthiest family in American history. I don't know why I brought that up. Anyway, he oh, by the way, a lot of people are mentioning John Sullivan in this Anderson Cooper thread. Let's see. Remember John Sullivan and the female news correspondent Jade Sacker? They were interviewed by Anderson Cooper. It's reported that CNN, here, I'll put this on the screen. It's reported that CNN and NBC paid $35,000 for the footage. Listen closely to what they're saying. Okay, here's this footage that they're talking about on the Anderson Cooper thing. There's this. Maybe.
I'll give you your hug now. We did it. You were right. We did it.
Dude, I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much.
You were right.
You just have to watch my chat.
Oh my God.
Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life?
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah?
Hell yeah.
Wait, you weren't recording, were you?
I'll delete that shit. But I didn't record you or me. It was just voices.
Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Who is this person he's talking to? So this is John Sullivan and the female news correspondent Jade Sacker. Don't know who she's from. They were interviewed by Anderson Cooper. It's reported that CNN and NBC paid $35,000 for this footage. But did you hear what they were saying there? Hey, Anonymity T2, nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. Never seen you here before, but you might just be someone to change your name to. And what's up, TC, also. So, the worst attack on democracy is the Civil War. What do they call the election of Emperor Pudding Brain? The first? Oh boy, thank you, Tyre. That's a good one. So anyway, let's listen to this again, because this is I don't know if you could tell what they were saying here. But the first part is we did it. We did it. Remember, this John Sullivan guy is the guy who was encouraging people to break windows. He was breaking windows himself. Okay, when he got inside, he was telling people to tear this shit up, right? This is what a douche. Anyway, here it is again. Maybe. Okay. Oh, he didn't have any sound at the beginning. I thought that was me, but it's not. There's no sound at the beginning of this video.
I'll give you your hug now. We did it.
I'm gonna give you a hug now. We did it. Really? What? We did what? What exactly do we do? Do we get people to come in here?
You were right. We did it.
You were right. We did it. Huh. Oh, you're from the Recruiter Street. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm always curious where people find me, so I appreciate you.
I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much.
You were right.
I was trying to tell you, couldn't say much. You were right. What were you right about? Boy, oh boy, am I
You
curious
just have to watch my chat. Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life?
That's it.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah?
Hell yeah.
Wait, you weren't recording, were you?
So CNN,
But I didn't record you or me.
he got $35,000 for this. Now and look, there's absolutely footage of this jackass egging people on to break their way in, break this window. Is actually footage of him actually breaking windows with a hammer to get in the building. So let's see. Why is Anderson Cooper? Here's Anderson Cooper. Now, some people are just so excited that Anderson Cooper said whatever he says here. Let's see what he says here. Just a second. And he's got this jackhole Michael Fanone. Now, Michael Fanone, Cap police officer who's become famous because look, he got hurt and there's no reason for him to get hurt, but now he's just become the face of the Capitol Police, other than Brian Sicknick. Here's Anderson Cooper saying something here.
The idea of Tucker Carlson being in that mob that day and not wetting his pants is hard to imagine.
The idea of Anderson Cooper being in that crowd that day and not wetting his pants is hard to imagine. What are you talking about? Why is that something for you to say here, Anderson? And why aren't you mad that you don't have access to the 40,000 hours of footage? But the left really loves the fact that someone says, oh, the thought of Tucker Carlson wetting his pants in that crowd, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I find it hard to understand somebody who has never put himself in harm's way in any capacity for any.
Oh, what's that, Mr. Vanderbilt? I'm sorry, Mr. Vanderbilt, who faked being in a flood?
Anyone else or on reporting a story. And yet,
yes, the courageous Tucker Carlson, or excuse me, the courageous Anderson Cooper. He's so courageous.
To try to rewrite history. I mean, that's what.
Oh wait, whoa! To rewrite history, all he did was show you some video of what people did once they were in the building. Yes, there were assholes out the building fighting with the police. No one's ever disputed that. But this insurrection, where people were trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America, and these people flooded into the Capitol building, and what did they do to overthrow the government of the United States of America? They wandered around for a couple hours, took selfies, and left. Oh, wait, one carried a podium and moved it from one side of the building to the other. And there's a couple assholes who broke into offices, and they should be charged for whatever they did. But for the most part, the people walked into the Capitol, looked around, took some pictures of themselves. Within a couple hours, while they were trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America with their cell phones and flags, they left because they got tired of trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America. Yeah, it's just that insurrection. Take some selfies and leave. That'll overthrow the government of the United States of America, and that'll show them.
This is an attempt to rewrite history on what is one of the most consequential, certainly one of the biggest events in American democracy.
One of the biggest events in American democracy. Wow.
The biggest threats to American democracy.
I agree.
Biggest threats to America. And what does it prove? By showing the rest of the footage. What does showing if it's the biggest threat to American democracy, then maybe the footage that you're showing, all the footage that you're showing, would show it being the biggest threat to American democracy. And yet once they were in the building, what government did they overthrow? Because look, there were thousands and thousands of people there. Now, and again, they're trying, because they've always tried to say, well, this was them. If it's an insurrection, there's got to be organized. It's an armed insurrection, the most deadly insurrection, the most dangerous threat to democracy since the Civil War. Was a bunch of people who some rioted outside, and some people got in the building and took a bunch of pictures and stayed within the ropes and took guided tours with some police officers and wore a goofy fucking, horned hat. Looking like the Buffalo Lodge on the Flintstones. The greatest threat to democracy. What they tried to do, they tried to overthrow the government of the United States with some flagpoles and cell phones. Yes, oh man. Oh, and there was a riot outside where police were throwing flashbangs into the part of the crowd that really was just out there chanting.
I mean, Tucker Carlson is, by his own admission, an entertainer, not a journalist.
And Michael Fanone, you seem to be an entertainer too these days, because you're a joke. And look, on that day, I'm curious why they thought it was important to throw flashbangs into the crowd, because the place where they were throwing the flashbangs in the crowd, that part of the crowd wasn't really doing anything. They were just standing there, And then that's when the riots broke out. And you know that picture, that famous Reuters picture with the big flash, and they darkened it, and they did all this Photoshop to make it look like this giant fire when actually it was just it was a flashbang going off. It's funny how those fire that particular picture is so prominent, but you know, all the fires from the riots from the 2 years prior, they tried to hide that shit. Unbelievable.
And on top of that, he's just proven himself to be Donald Trump's chief propagandist.
Well, that's interesting because Tucker Carlson can't stand Donald Trump, as we found out this week, too. So why would he be Donald Trump's chief propagandist? Or maybe, maybe he just sees just a tiny bit of injustice with some of the people who are being charged with crimes on January 6th that are still in jail, that haven't gotten their trials yet for almost 2 years. Maybe that's why he thinks these tapes are important. Maybe he thinks that Jacob Chansley getting 4 years for roaming around the building with an armed escort maybe shouldn't have got 4 years in prison for a non-violent offense. Because they don't have any video of Jacob Chansley breaking shit, although he did walk in once the people who broke shit opened the doors. But he wasn't involved in that. He was outside near it and went inside. So why is he getting 4 years? Oh, wait, because he's the QAnon shaman. He clearly was the leader of this group. Not Ray Epps, who said you have to go into the Capitol, but Jacob Chansley, who wore a goofy outfit and said a prayer from the Senate lectern. Ooh. But that was after he got the escort around the building and actually had the escort into the Senate chamber. Yeah. So why would Tucker do this? Tucker Carlson can't stand Donald Trump. Like I said, why would he help Donald Trump? Well, maybe he's just helping people see the truth about what happened that day. All of it, not just the bad parts, not the really bad parts, because again, the idiots who were fighting the police, if you assault a police officer, go to jail, do not collect $200.
And that's all this was. And I think that...
okay, I don't even want to hear Michael Fanone anymore. He is collecting on his 15 minutes and tired of hearing his voice. So anyway, by the way, here's one. Wait. Here's a good one, and this is just from this Twitter feed. Anderson Cooper is among a number of journalists who put their lives on the line to report the news on war front lines, inserting themselves into dangerous zones to keep us informed. Oh, this photo? This photo? Isn't this the one where the guys walk by in a canoe? Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's why Anderson Cooper's trading. And here it is. Oh, yeah, this photo right here. Just let me show you this photo that they are saying. This guy put himself in war zones, right? Oh, wait. Let's look at the real photo. This Anderson Cooper right here. He needed to get a shot. Oh my God. Anderson Cooper, you are a terrible human being. All right, real quick. I'm going to continue, but I got to remind you something because I forgot to say it earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please make sure you hit the like button sometime during the show. More importantly, share this out. Now, there's people here who are fairly new, and so you probably know some people who don't know I'm here. I would really appreciate it if you share this out, Twitter, on Facebook, or wherever you share shit with people. Make sure they know I'm here. I'm trying to grow this channel a little bit. And if you want to sponsor the show more in depth, you can do that at pdognight.live. That's my Streamlabs link where you can... See, look, you can do YouTube Super Chats, and that's all fine and good, and I appreciate anything that you drop in the tip jar. But if you use Streamlabs, You don't have to give 30% to the former Susan, whatever the hell her name was. You know, yeah, that lady. Although she's gone. She's gone. No, by the way, She's Gone is trending today. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's the first thing I thought of. I thought of Hall & Oates. But that's not it. Anyway, so yeah, there's one right there. There it is. Bam! Right as I said, Chicago Mike comes through with a big bullet in the tip jar. That's be a 556. And thank you, Chicago Mike, which makes you the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Yes, the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day so far. It's the highest tipper of the day. That's if you didn't know what that was. For those of you who are new, Chicago Mike asked the question, how many years did Ray Epps get? Oh, yeah, he got nothing so far, right? I'm still would like somebody to explain to me how they haven't done anything charge Ray Epps. And why every Democrat who hears the name Ray Epps goes, well, he was just some poor schmuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. Really? Because some of those grandmas that who had to plead guilty charges and got, some fines and some short prison time, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time too. Ray Epps was leading the charge. He even said, well, I was whatever he said. I organized it, or I was orchestrating. He said, I orchestrated it. What a fucking asshole. And he's still no charges, nothing. We know he's in Fed. We know he's a Fed. Susan Wiki. Yeah. That's her name. Anyway, thank you very much, Chicago Mike. And you are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. All right, back to, let's see. Anything else I want to say about Anderson Cooper? So Anderson Cooper is, the left is just, Anderson Cooper is so correct. He just destroyed Tucker Carlson. Yeah, you're a moron, Anderson. Sorry. And he was in war zones. Anderson Cooper has walked a walk. Okay, so he was in war zones. Okay, so has Anderson Cooper ever lied to you while being an anchor of CNN? Yes. Does that count too? I would say that's not very good, is it? Thank you, TC, for dropping links to the show out on Twitter. I appreciate it. All right. So everyone's just Anderson Cooper. You know who else is trending? Mitch McConnell, Mitch the bitch, proving that it's not just Chuck Schumer, that there is a uniparty. Here is wait a minute. What? Why is okay? That's something about Mitch McConnell's wife. I don't care about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. Here, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, everyone's favorite. I was gonna say homo, but he's not a homo. I don't even know what that means. He put out this little. Here's Mitch McConnell, because see, the Uniparty is as one when they're talking about Tucker here, because Mitch successfully got rid of Donald Trump. He was like happy Donald Trump's gone, so he wants to make sure that everything about this, excuse me, hang on a second, insurrection is is just the way he says it is. So here's Mitch McConnell, Mitch the Turtle.
With regard to the presentation on Fox News last night,
yes, Mitch.
I want to associate myself entirely with the opinion of the chief of the Capitol Police.
Oh, the chief of the Capitol Police who didn't have enough assets there? Huh? Yeah? That's that chief of the Capitol Police? Of course, we don't know if it's the chief of the Capitol Police's fault, because Mitch and Nancy were in charge of making sure the security was good that day. So, of course, you're going to side with the chief of the Capitol Police because you were part of the problem, Mitch. You and Nancy didn't have the right personnel at the Capitol that day. Because we'll get to that interview too. Hang on.
About what happened.
Oh, yes.
On January 6th.
And you're holding up a single letter of what the person at the Capitol Police said. Well, yippee, Skippy. You fucking clown. Anyway, thanks, Mitch. Okay, tell me which part Tucker got wrong then, Mitch. Show me the video that shows what Tucker got wrong. Because again, he didn't just say, oh, this, that, and this didn't happen, that didn't happen. He had video evidence. So do you have video evidence that tells to the contrary, Mitch? I don't know. But anyway, the Uniparty are circling the wagon. So let's look at some of the media coverage, because when I typed in Tucker Carlson on my search engine here, I'll show you a couple articles that popped up. So here is from this is CNN. CNN Business puts up this piece of garbage here. I don't mean Mitch. I mean this thing. So here, wait, is this the same one? Same video? Hang on. Let's see what they put it for a video. See Mitch McConnell's reaction. Oh, there's an issue with media playback. The sub error. Okay, let me see if I can refresh this and see if it'll make it play. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. Please let there be a playback this time. Wait, what? Install? Oh, I gotta install some. I'm not install shit for this anyway. Fox host Tucker Carlson is facing blowback from Republican leaders for peddling new falsehoods about the January 6th Capitol riot. Okay, that's the statement. Okay, peddling new falsehoods. What exactly did Tucker Carlson say during his segment that was false? That was provably false. I'm just curious. And in fact, let's go. Okay, I'll move on because I obviously can't use that one. Here's this is NBC News. NBC News. Bullshit. GOP senators rebuke Tucker Carlson for downplaying January 6th as mostly peaceful. Now, for several years now, we've been hearing that certain protests were mostly peaceful, right? We are hearing mostly peaceful, okay? Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the turtle, and other Senate Republicans lashed out at conservative Fox News host Tucker Carlson on Tuesday after he characterized the deadly January 6th attack. Now, notice, remember when Tucker made fun of the idea that they were calling this the deadly January 6th attack? And they used this same verbiage in this article, like right from go. The deadly January 6th attack. Really? What was deadly about the January 6th attack? Because the people you say attacked the Capitol didn't kill anybody. Oh, a couple of them got killed, but none of them were the cause of death of anyone on those Capitol grounds, except for a couple themselves. At a GOP leadership news conference, McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, said he wanted to align himself with the letter sent to the U.S. Capitol Police Force by Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger, who denounced Carlson for spreading offensive and misleading conclusions about the insurrection on January 6, 2021, including a disturbing accusation that Officer Brian Sicknick's death had nothing to do with the riot. What? So you're saying his death had something to do with the riot? His two strokes the next day? 2 strokes. Not just one, 2 strokes. The next day. You're saying that had something to do with the riot. Even the coroner, although he said, well, it could be. He might have, the pepper spray could have caused it. He didn't have any blunt force injuries. I mean, what are you? Oh, my God. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, real quick. Thank you for sponsoring the show. with putting a small billet in the tip jar, and also Slob Lord, thanks for subscribing, who says, I can't stand these politicians. Tucker showing they are all lying scum so we can see them for who they are. Scum politicians who are out for themselves, and that's it. They all need to be gone. They need to be voted out. Yes, thank you, Jimmy Dawes Hotep. Appreciate it. He continued, okay, here's Mitch and his stupid statement. I want to associate myself.
With regard to the presentation on Fox News last night, I want to associate myself entirely with the opinion of the chief of the Capitol Police.
Okay, so you have an opinion and Tucker has a different opinion. And?
What happened on January 6th.
Really? Sure you do. Because
Clearly,
you're happy with what happened.
The chief of the Capitol Police, in my view,
who wasn't there,
correctly describes what most of us witnessed firsthand.
Wait, no. Witness firsthand, Mitch. Wait, whoa. Wait. The only thing you witnessed firsthand was some Capitol Police taking you to a safe place. So the only thing you witnessed firsthand, again, was hiding somewhere, which is fine. You should. And the Capitol Police did their job. I don't fault you for that, but you didn't witness anything firsthand. You witnessed video later. Firsthand means you saw everything that you're claiming, but you didn't. How much of this video did you already see before this, bitch? You didn't see it firsthand, you lying piece of shit. GNT, what's up? Nice to see you. I see you there. All right. Anyway,
on January 6th. So that's my reaction to it.
Really? Wait, but Mitch, I want to know, what did you see in the video that Tucker Carlson showed? Was he lying of what he saw in those videos? I mean, you're saying he lied, because a lot of people say, oh, he's lying. Well, what's he lying about? Everything he said, he backed up with video. Now, maybe his opinion in those videos may be, up for debate, maybe, but, he pretty much described what he saw in the videos. And the chief with the Brian Sicknick thing, what are you talking about? He had 2 strokes the next day. How are those related to the day before? And especially since there's no evidence of blunt force trauma on any part of his body, so it couldn't have been that. So what are you saying? Did he got strokes from stress? Interesting. Because remember, you put him in the Capitol Rotunda before we had the news that he didn't die from someone hitting him with a fire extinguisher. That was the myth that went around for a very long time before. Oh, wait a minute, there was no blood. He died from stroke the next day, and he didn't die that day. Only AOC died on that day. Sorry.
It was a mistake, in my view, for Fox News to depict
show the truth, to show some other truth, to show other footage that nobody's seen yet. It's wrong for the American people to see something that you don't agree with, Mitch.
Completely at variance with what our chief law enforcement official here at the Capitol thinks.
Well, wait, because so he got everything that happened on January 6th on one page. How did the chief of the Capitol Police, who also didn't see this firsthand and also didn't see the footage, any of the other 40,000 hours of footage, as far as I know, how did he fit everything that happened that day onto one page? Now, in this article, a handful of other Senate Republicans on Tuesday pushed back against Carlson's claim that January 6th was peaceful chaos. Some of it was. Look, when he said that, he was talking about inside the Capitol building. He didn't say there wasn't shenanigans going outside. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina blasting the remarks as bullshit. Carlson, the popular but controversial figure on Fox. Oh, controversial. Made the comments to his millions of viewers Monday night as he aired selected clips of never before seen video of the Capitol on January 6th and downplayed the hours-long insurrection in which 140 police officers were injured. Yeah, no, I know, because you guys downplayed what happened at the White House when the people attacked the White House and 60 Secret Service agents were injured, including 11 who were hospitalized. Oh, yeah, you downplayed that. You still downplayed that one. That wasn't an insurrection? Just curious. No one has there's no May 29th committee. So I was here. This is Tillis. I was here. I was down there. I saw maybe a few tourists, a few people who got caught up in things, he added. But when you see police barricades breached before Donald Trump was finished speaking, when you see police officers assaulted after they threw flashbangs into the crowd and were hitting people over the fences, remember, just like most riots, the police get in clashes with some of the rioters or the people there. And I'd like to see more footage of what happened outside. Certainly these people weren't where they were supposed to be. They had a designated area on the other side of the building that their rally was supposed to happen. And for whatever reason, those people who breached the Capitol gates before Donald Trump even finished speaking breached them at a point that went straight to the place where you saw all the action, so to speak, right? And then you had, little Jonathan and who knows how many of his buddies out there encouraging people to break down doors, and Ray Epps over and over telling people we must go into the Capitol. It just makes you wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder. Anyway. So, and then they just have some Republicans who were also saying, oh, this is just terrible. Tucker Carlson shouldn't be showing this. This is he's lying about the insurrection and blah, 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 blah. So that's NBC News. Now, MSNBC, Maddow's blog, so it says McCarthy tries to dodge responsibility for January 6th footage gambit. Why? No, he didn't. He did not dodge responsibility. How? We all heard what he said yesterday. But anyway, Kevin McCarthy effectively handed Tucker Carlson matches and lighter fluid, but he didn't feel the need to tune in when the Fox News host started a fire. Oh, a fire of your narrative? It set your narrative on fire? Is that what you're talking about? This is by Steve Bennett on Maddow blog. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has never said what he thought would happen after giving Tucker Carlson exclusive access to January 6th security camera footage, but the California Republican shouldn't have been too surprised by the resulting fiasco. Yes, your narrative on fire. The Fox News host cherry-picked footage that allowed him to tell the deceptive story. See, now this is clearly an opinion piece, although it's not very far from the news article in the last one. The deceptive story he set out to tell, and the result has sparked outrage from both parties and law enforcement. In theory, the GOP leader should take this opportunity to reflect on the mess he was responsible for helping to create. In practice, as The Hill reported, McCarthy said he has no regrets. Wait a minute. Whoa, what? Tries to dodge responsibility for January 6th footage gambit, but down here he says he has no regrets. How is that dodging responsibility? He has no regrets. So why is, oh my gosh, that's a different story, isn't it? If you're trying to dodge responsibility, you would say, well, no, that's not what I really did. I just, that did something else. No, he said, I have no regrets. And I hope they find more footage of things that is exculpatory evidence for some of the people who are still sitting in the damn jails in D.C., who probably just walked through and walked out. And they're still using face recognition. Now they're trying to arrest people who were even on the Capitol grounds that day. Although, remember, the Trump organization had a permit to be on the other side of that building. Why didn't the police direct him to where they had the permit? That's the other part I don't get. So you got these people starting to gather at these railings, right, that are the perimeter of the Capitol grounds, right? And the police officers there know that the Trump organization has a permit not here, but over there. So why weren't they just saying, hey, you know what? The area that you have a permit to have your rally is over here. Why don't we direct the people over there? No, they didn't do that. And, of course, the first wave, known as the Ray Epps wave, probably didn't really give a shit anyway because they were told to break the barrier here. Oh, I'm sorry. They were told. Did I say they were told to do it? I mean, they spontaneously decided that this was the best place to breach the barriers. So here's Speaker McCarthy said he does not regret sharing footage from the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol with Fox News' Tucker Carlson, despite receiving partisan blowback, arguing that the decision was made for transparency. No, McCarthy told reporters on Tuesday when he asked if he regretted granting Carlson access. I said at the very beginning, transparency. Does that sound like he was dodging responsibility for giving the footage to Tucker Carlson? He said specifically, I said at the very beginning, transparency. That's why he did it. That's not dodging responsibility. He said, yeah, I did it for transparency, and that's what we're doing. Good morning, Nomad. How you doing?
Stop. Hammer time.
And as I said at the beginning, giving a controversial television personality exclusive access to sensitive footage. Sensitive? How is it sensitive? Oh, it's sensitive because it sets your narrative on fire. I think I've already said that. Allowing him to create a twisted counter-narrative. Twisted? Wait a minute. So do you think maybe the footage that the TV producer produced for the January 6th committee was selectively editing footage from January 6th? Like just all the worst stuff and not anything inside the building? You notice they really didn't show a whole lot of footage from inside the building, other than a couple very short clips of like the goofy guy with the horns yelling from the balcony. But really inside, and then Ashley Babbitt getting shot. They showed that. But there's a whole lot more footage than just that. See, you guys showed what bleeds. You know, what bleeds leads. But you didn't show the mundane shit that was actually going on in the Capitol building that most of the people were involved in. Very mundane, standing around, taking pictures, taking selfies, taking pictures with police officers. Didn't show any of that. Or officers escorting the goofy guy with the costume around the building. Didn't show that. The deceptively editing of the senator. Remember when Josh Hawley running away from the protesters. Oh, no, that was the Capitol Police escorting several senators through the building. But the one shot of Josh Hawley by himself going by is the only thing you showed. Oh, talk about selectively editing. You assholes. So anyway, the idea, tried to dodge responsibility. No, he took full responsibility and said why he did it. That's taking responsibility. Moving on to the New York Times, of course, again, Republican lawmakers split over Carlson's false January 6th claims. Can you be specific as to what was false about his claims when he showed you video evidence of the claims? House Republicans promoted Tucker Carlson's report falsely portraying the attack on the Capitol as a largely peaceful event, while Senate Republicans condemned it. Well, of the crowd, let's see how many were in the crowd and how many were how many were not peaceful. That's a real question for the New York Times. Was it a largely peaceful event? It kind of was. There were a couple hundred that were involved in violence, but there were thousands there. Just like your the what do you call it? The Summer of Love protests which you described as largely peaceful. Well, this protest was just as largely peaceful as the Summer of Love protests. But there were a few assholes who did some breaking shit and fighting with police officers. But there were thousands there. And most of the charges that you guys, most of the guys that have been charged, most of the people who've been charged with anything at this largely peaceful event were charged with misdemeanor trespassing charges at worst. That's the worst charge. You don't have a whole lot of violence charges, do you? So, in fact, if you look at the charges that the people who are getting, well, some of them are still in jail, not awaiting trial. The vast majority of the charges are misdemeanor trespassing charges. That sounds pretty peaceful to me. So largely peaceful is probably an accurate description of the event, despite the fact that the media shows the violent parts over and over and over. So, FTG, New York Times. Let's see how they start this. Republicans on Capitol Hill split Tuesday over a broadcast by Tucker Carlson, the Fox News host, in which he falsely portrayed the January 6th, 20. Look, he has an opinion, and his opinion's different from yours. So I guess you're saying it's false. Falsely portrayed the January 6th, 2021 attack on the Capitol as a largely peaceful gathering, with House GOP leaders promoting his report while top Republican senators condemned it. The divide reflected a continuing rift in the party between those who want to move on from January 6th. Oh, yeah, and between the Uniparty and the not Uniparty. There's some people who just, are a little more, fuck you. Yes, there was bad shit that went on, but a lot of it, it was mostly peaceful. Between those who want to move on from January 6th, regarding it as a political liability, and those who want to relitigate it publicly to feed the anger of the party's hard right base. Okay. Oh my gosh. So those who want to stick with the narrative and use it to condemn a political candidate they despise, and those who are like, you guys over there, and joining with the other guys over there who said largely peaceful protests for 2 years, won't accept this as being a largely peaceful protest. And we have evidence that it really was, but yes, there was a riot, just like those back then there, the Summer of Love, but we can't say that we could still say that was largely peaceful, but not this, because we have that January 6th committee that must get Donald Trump. And now let me go back to something here, because some of you are new here. I'm not a Trump guy. Remember that. I guess I not reluctantly. I voted for him last time, but I didn't vote for the first time. I think Trump's a jackass. But sometimes you need a jackass to be the leader, because sometimes jackasses keep you out of wars. Because other people are afraid, oh, what's this motherfucker going to do? And also, the jackass, who I freely call a jackass, did pretty good with legislation that I supported. And except for the
China is asshole.
Did pretty damn good with the economy. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, it's the New York Times. It's saying what the New York Times normally says. I'll leave this in the tabs. By the way, those of you who are new here, or even if you're not new here, I have to remind you at the end of the show, everything that every link and every tweet and every video or whatever, I'll have in a single link in the description down below called the one tab link in the second paragraph. You click the link, everything we did today will be on a single web page. So you'll be able to find this shit if you're trying to, look for links for all this stuff we talk about. That's where it will be. Politico. House GOP faces new January 6th headache courtesy of Tucker Carlson. So obviously Politico, Sarah Ferris, Olivia Beavers, and Kyle Cheney, no relation, think this is a problem for the Republicans. Capitol Police Chief and Republican Senator slammed Fox News host for falsely characterizing the violent riot. No, he did not falsely characterize the violent riot. In fact, he showed some video of the riot part. What he's showing you are the parts that weren't the violent part, that nobody seems to want to show. He gave you video evidence of everything he said. And again, those people who went inside the Capitol building that were going to overturn the government of the United States of America, they left after a couple hours of taking pictures and selfies and other bullshit and walking around the building. They left without overthrowing the government. I guess the plan to overthrow the government, they forgot what they were there for, and they ended up leaving. House Republicans arrived at the Capitol on Tuesday facing a torrent of questions about the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. This time, it was a headache of their own making. Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to release thousands of hours of security footage from that day to Fox News has reopened a painful fault line that his party has repeatedly tried to mend 2 years after the violent assault on the Capitol by Donald Trump supporters, with most of its members no longer openly parroting the former president's false claim that Joe Biden's win was illegitimate. The GOP is still stuck reliving January 6th. Maybe. Never mind. Inside McCarthy's conference, few of any members would say outright Tuesday night that their speaker made a mistake by sharing the footage with Carlson. No, he didn't make a mistake. Even if, no, the people should be able to see it. And if it is what it is, share it with all the media. They should just, you know what they should do? They should go all Project Veritas and just release all raw footage on the internet. And then all the autists could go through it and pull out what they want to pull out from it. Anyway, in fact, only a handful admitted to watching the segment at all. One of those is McCarthy himself, who defended the move in the name of transparency when pressed by reporters Tuesday night. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with transparency. But some House Republicans aired their displeasure with being forced to revisit the attack on their workspace or place. It's definitely stupid to keep talking about this, so what is the purpose of continuing to bring it up unless you're trying to feed Democrat narratives further? No, we're trying to burn it. Oh, guess who said that? Wait, stop. I want you to guess who said that. I'm going to read it again. And guess who said this? Ooh, it's definitely stupid to keep talking about this. So what is the purpose of continuing to bring it up unless you're trying to feed Democrat narratives even further? And noting the videos didn't show anything we don't already know. Guess who said that? Now, it's no one on the January 6th committee, but take your next guess. Take your next guess of who might have said that. Also, the fact that he says it doesn't show us anything we didn't already know. Oh, really? I've been following this January 6th stuff pretty closely since the beginning, since it happened. This is someone in the House. Since the beginning. And I didn't know that the Trump organization had a permit to have a rally on the Capitol grounds. That's the first time I'd ever heard it. I didn't know that QAnon Shaman had been escorted around the building, almost getting a guided tour from police officers. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know, although there's a lot of stuff I did know that I never see in the news, like all the people standing around in the Capitol building and walking around. Just taking pictures and stuff. I knew that because, well, those had been, because people had their own video of that was on the internet the next day. All right. I'm going to tell you the answer now. Dan Crenshaw, of course. Dan fucking Crenshaw said that. And he says, I don't really have a problem with making it all public, but if your message is then to try and convince people that nothing bad happened, then it's just going to make us look silly. Well, no one said nothing bad happened, but definitely saying that you overplayed it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
With GOP senators and their leader Mitch McConnell more vocally criticizing Carlson for falsely portraying the attack as peaceful. Well, he didn't portray the attack as peaceful. Again, there were clearly people who were not being peaceful, who were fighting with police and breaking shit. he was portraying the people who went in the building and showed video of what they did once they got in, which absolutely was mostly peaceful. It's a fact, and unless you can show me some video, other than the fact that that Ashley Babbitt tried to go through a broken window and got shot. So they go through a list of Republicans who are either complaining about him having the footage or not, but this is what you expect from Politico too, NBC. And then a lot of them bring up that Tucker Carlson. They showed apparently one of the exhibits in the Dominion case is Tucker Carlson saying, "I hate him passionately," talking about Trump. Well, then okay, if he hates Trump, well then I guess this is not about Trump, is it? This is about what they lied about on January 6th. So there's an article in there about that. And NBC Today showed the backlash over new January 6th footage. Well, maybe, look, here's something they could have done. If they didn't want this new January footage to cause a backlash, maybe they should have released this to the public a long time ago. And then Tucker Carlson wouldn't be the only one to have it. But because Nancy Pelosi didn't want anyone to see this footage, and the January 6th committee didn't want anyone to see this footage of the not so violent parts, and didn't investigate the not so violent parts, now you're getting it from Tucker Carlson. Whose fault is that? Bitches. Anyway, let's see. Is this a media? Oh, here it is. Here, let's see. Let's volume this.
Used his exclusive access to more than 40,000 hours of video from January 6th to create an alternative reality of what many witnessed and experienced on that day.
See, now look.
Capitol Hill police, in some cases, escorted protesters through the Capitol as if they were giving a tour.
More than 100 officers were hurt during the riot.
We already know that. But again, just like the protests during the Summer of Love, officers were killed, injured, some maimed. Even the White House breach on May 29th, 2020. Secret Service officers were hospitalized. 60 were injured. Okay? But you don't, it's funny how you never call that one an insurrection. They tried to burn down a church. They set a guard shack on fire. 60 officers injured, 11 hospitalized. But that wasn't insurrection at the White House. But you made fun of Donald Trump for being taken to a bunker on that day. So, look, and you said it was and you described that as a mostly peaceful protest because which was a fact because most of the protesters there that day didn't cause any violence, but a bunch of them did. Just like on January 6th, most of the people who were there did not cause any violence, but a lot of them did, and they should be prosecuted. But the idea that the people inside, this is the fact that 100 officers were hurt, doesn't change the fact of what happened inside the Capitol that day that Tucker Carlson showed that they didn't show you before, and they hid it because they didn't want you to see it.
5 people died.
No, they didn't. Whoa! Oh, 5 people died. No. Ashley Babbitt, the lady got beat to death, 1 heart attack. 5 people died. What did they die of, though? What did they die of? And here's, if they're going to continue, I want to hear what they go through here.
Escorted protesters through the Capitol as if they were giving a tour.
More than 100 officers were hurt during the riot. 5 people died.
Yeah. What did they die of? There was a heart attack. 1 person had some other injury. 1 woman got beat to death by police. 1 person got shot by police. I don't know who the 5th one is.
And at least 1,000 people have been arrested.
Okay, 1,000 people out of how many that were there? There were tens of thousands there that day. And 1,000 people arrested, that means nothing. What were they arrested for? Have they gone to court? Of course, D.C. they're finding all of them guilty.
But Carlson chose to use the footage to downplay the violence. while accusing the January 6th Select Committee of lying about what happened.
They lied about some things. Yes, they absolutely did. Documentable. Look, they're not mutually exclusive. See, you're saying that, oh, only this, but not this, when two things can be true at the same time.
In free countries, governments do not lie about protests as a pretext to gain more power.
Some
Truth.
Republicans taking issue with how the host framed
Oh,
the
no.
violence.
I think it's bullshit that it was not just some rowdy, peaceful protest of Boy Scouts.
No one said it was a rowdy, peaceful protest of Boy Scouts. That's a straw man. That's making up an argument that nobody made and refuting that. Nobody made that claim.
News host also accusing Capitol Police of willfully ignoring some of the attacks, and even claimed without evidence the federal government had operatives in the crowd to fuel.
Oh my God! No, without evidence. Did you not watch the hearing where the FBI director was? Oh my God! Without evidence. Oh my gosh! There was a hearing. We pretty much confirmed that.
The violence. Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger calling the report, quote, filled with offensive and misleading conclusions about the January 6th.
Oh, you mean like Brian Sicknick was beaten to death that day, which a lot of Democrats were saying. In fact, there's still people online who say, well, Sicknick was killed that day with a fire extinguisher. What? No, not a single police officer died that day. Not one. He was beaten. They say he was beaten to death. No, he wasn't. And they're still Joe Biden himself in a speech recently said 5 officers were killed that day. What? He said 5 officers were killed. No, they weren't.
The attack.
It was a mistake, in my view, for...
Gee, you know what's funny here, too? You know something about this report that they complain about? I always hear people complaining about reports like this. You know why? It's interesting. Is this report selectively edited? They always talk about selective editing. Was this selectively edited? Oh, wait. Everything that's edited is selectively edited. Never mind.
Fox News to depict this in a way that's completely at variance with what our chief law enforcement official here at
he
Capitol
wasn't the chief at that day either.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who gave Carlson access to the footage, doubling down on his decision.
He didn't double down.
I said at the very beginning, transparency.
Yeah, he said there should be transparency. And since there was no transparency before, what's the problem? Oh, somebody might try and set your narrative on fire.
So what I wanted to produce for everybody is exactly what I said.
It all comes as more internal communications have been made public as part of a Dominion voting system's defamation lawsuit against the network.
So look, and in fact, the fact that they found out that Tucker Carlson can't stand Donald Trump or whatever, I hate him, whatever the words he used. Okay, so then he's not doing this for Trump, apparently. Interesting. So you can watch the rest of that. I'm out of time, but I'm going to at least show you what I have else here. Schumer, we saw Schumer beg Rupert Murdoch to kick Tucker Carlson off the air. So Schumer, from the Senate floor, demanded that a journalist be censored. Isn't that special? I'm sorry. We have to see what Latrine said, though. Latrine Jean-Pierre. Here's her take.
Last night, Tucker Carlson cherry-picked the video surveillance.
Cherry-picked? Wait, what kind of a question is this? What kind of question is this? Did you hear how that question started out? Wait a minute. Listen how this question starts out.
Last night, Tucker Carlson cherry-picked the video surveillance from the January 6th insurrection.
Tucker Carlson cherry-picked video surveillance from the January 6th insurrection. Wow. What's your question? Because you're telling what the narrative is.
Severely downplaying the events of that day. He said the mob...
Severely downplaying the events of that day. Well, all she has to nod and say, yes, that's what happened. Because she didn't even have to answer the question. Because he's He's loading up that question for her.
Bob was orderly and meek and that they were tourists instead of insurrectionists. What's your response to...
Well, I don't know. The people milling about in the Capitol sure didn't look like they were trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America. Some of this fight, even the people who were fighting the police, do you think they were trying to overthrow the government, or they just trying to hold their ground so they could protest? I'm curious. I'd love to ask one of them. Were you trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America? Were you trying to have an insurrection, or did you just want your voice heard? That's the other part that they can't seem to grasp.
Carlson and to Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who granted him access to that video.
What would you say?
Anybody who watched that video would strongly disagree.
No.
Anybody who watched that video,
anybody?
In a with their own eyes in a real way.
Wait a minute. With their own eyes in a real way. Well, these are my eyes.
And saw what happened.
And I'm pretty real.
On that day.
'Cause I'm real. The way he talks, the way he walks. Sorry.
Would disagree with what was just stated.
Just anybody who watched it with their own eyes, with their real eyes, if they were being real, they would disagree because I say they would disagree. Well, no, I don't disagree. I think he got a lot of it right, most of it right. In fact, I can't disagree with anything he said, because he wasn't downplaying the violent part. What he's telling you is they're not showing you all the footage that would exonerate some people of some things that people are accusing them of, like, overthrowing the government of the United States of America, because nobody seemed to want to do it once they got inside. They kind of just mulled around.
The president has been very clear. January 6th was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Was it now? Was it now? I guess, again, I always go back to, was it 56 when the I think they were Puerto Rican nationals, shot 5 Congress people? I don't know. There were more people shot then than there were on this January 6th, just saying.
And we should.
And the bombing of the Senate building, that was pretty bad. And it was like 1980 something, and bombings in 1971. And there was a whole lot of stuff that, there's a whole lot of shit that went on. 9/11, I thought that was an attack on democracy, but apparently they don't only count if you attack a government building, I guess. Maybe that's why they say it's the worst attack on the United States democracy since the Civil War. Okay, really? This was? They were successful in overthrowing the government of the United States of America. But they brought in the United States Marines, and they shot a bunch of people and got them out of there and saved the congressmen from the foxholes they had dug in under the Capitol basement. So I guess, yeah, thank God for those Marines saving those people from the armed insurrectionists who, they did kill one member of the House. AOC is still dead, even though they revived her. She's a vampire now. So anyway.
Be focused on making sure that never happens again. And so we are certainly.
So we're not going to allow protests at the Capitol anymore because, by the way, it's not. Look, they tried to breach the Supreme Court after the Dobbs decision. You remember that? Was that not an insurrection? There was a riot out there too. Well, not as bad because it was mostly women, and women aren't as tough. So, sorry, ladies. That was funny to me for a second, and then I thought about what I said, and I'm like, oh God, I should probably laugh at it more because it was funny. Ha! Anyway,
we agree. I know Minority Leader and Senator Schumer have already said this, and would hope that keeping the Capitol.
What did the Minority Leader say that you just thought you should be agreeing with? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Congress safe and secure.
Oh, that's Mitch McConnell. I thought he meant McCarthy.
Remains congressional leaders' #1 goal, and that should be our focus, and that should be what should be considered here. Again, it was one of the darkest days of our democracy.
Was it now?
All you have to do is watch those videos and see how horrific it was.
Horrific.
See how sad it was.
Oh, it was horrific.
An attack on the Capitol, which should not be happening.
They had nukes. They had Sidewinder missiles. They had helicopters firing in M50s.
It was an attack on our democracy.
Oof, it was terrible.
And I'll just leave it there.
And it's still on fire. They haven't been able to put the fire out. The Capitol building is still on fire. Yes, half of it's down. Wait, wasn't there a TV? Because we lost half of Congress that day. Anyway, McCarthy. So anyway, I'm not getting to half of this. McCarthy defends releasing January 6 tapes, torches CNN reporter their face. Wait a minute. Did he torch the CNN reporter? Oh, wait. What did he say?
Mr. Speaker, because of the footage that you gave Tucker Carlson last night, he went on and said this was a mostly peaceful chaos, as he said. He downplayed Brian Sicknick's death, said it was...
He didn't downplay his death. He told the truth about Brian Sicknick's death. Brian Sicknick was not beaten to death by protesters, which is the lie people still tell, and his stroke was not a result of January 6th. He had 2 strokes, or he didn't die as a result of January 6th. He didn't die that day. He had 2 strokes the next day, and, you know, may he rest in peace, but y'all keep lying about his death, and it ain't, you know, it's not right.
Not related to January 6th, so this was not an insurrection. Do you regret
it wasn't an insurrection.
Giving him this footage so he could whitewash the events of that day?
No, I said at the very beginning transparency. And so what I wanted to produce for everybody is exactly what I said, that people could actually look at it.
Just cause, yes. Let's all remember that Alec Baldwin has killed more people than any January 6th rioter on January 6th. Yes, exactly right. That's brilliant.
Not on that day, so.
But Mr. Speaker, do you agree with his portrayal of what happened that day?
Look, each person can come up with their own conclusion, but what I just wanted to make sure is I had transparency.
Do you believe
because I know in CNN, I mean, I had here where you guys actually broke where we were. This was a secret location, Fort McLaren. I don't know if you got concerned by that. I don't even know from point of view of security if we could ever be taken there again. But when you broke that at CNN, that was a real concern to a lot of people. I had a real concern also when I wanted to make sure transparency. Look, the officer's death is tragic, and anytime an officer is passed in this situation, I want to make sure.
But he didn't die as a result of January 6th.
Goes forward.
Speaker McCarthy,
was this in any way part of the deal?
Okay, and then he goes on, is it part of the deal? McCarthy said no, it was all about transparency, whatnot. Anyway, what else is left I didn't get to? If you haven't seen it, one of the ex-Capitol Hill cops said the supervisors went silent on January 6th. I highly recommend that you go and watch this interview right here. It's in the it's in the article. I'll have it in the links. I might, well, who knows? We might go to that tomorrow. Also, Carlson did respond to Senator Schumer's call for censorship and Mitch McConnell. Basically, okay, I'm going to summarize it. They're jackholes. Okay, that's simple as that. And then other articles, Chuck Schumer loses his mind over the tapes. Whistleblower, FBI targeted innocent rally-goers just for being in D.C. on January 6th. Now, that's new. FBI's D.C., this is in the Federalist, FBI D.C. field office directed the Boston office to open investigation into more than 100 Americans who had attended the January 6th rally, despite having no evidence those individuals had committed any crime, according to a whistleblower testimony reviewed by the Federalist. This represents a second attempt by the D.C. field office to sic the FBI on innocent Americans. In this case, people who were exercising their First Amendment right to free speech. So now they're trying to go after people who were just there at all. If they get faces, they want to investigate them because they were there. Not because they did anything illegal, not because they breached the Capitol building, just because they were there. And they give a few examples here, so you can check that article out. Also, the Federalist. If you look for these January 6th videos on YouTube, the YouTube censors will direct you to fake fact checks instead. So there you go. YouTube's trying to sideline Fox News host Tucker Carlson's bombshell reporting on new footage from inside the Capitol in January 6, 2021 by couching searches for his program's recent segment with news alerts from corrupt corporate media outlets. After reviewing more than 40,000... Okay, anyway, what they're doing is they're sending to things like this. Developing new. Hakeem Jeffrey sees no sign police vetted January 6 footage McCarthy gave Tucker Carlson. They're basically sending these fake news checks. So here's the one, Fox News. What to know about Tucker Carlson January 6 footage, CNN.com. They direct you to CNN. This is CNN. Or this is the Hakeem Jeffrey ones from Yahoo. Basically, they're not letting you search Tucker Carlson and go see what Tucker Carlson said. So, fascinating. And there's a few other articles that I don't have time to even talk about, so we'll just let that go. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I do hope that if you haven't done so, you will hit that like button. There's more likes than people left here, but hit and share the stream before, during, after the stream. No matter what, share the stream when you watch, or even when you don't watch. Just share it anyway. And then finally, you can sponsor the show at PDog9.live 24 hours a day. And your message will be read on the show. Thank you to our sponsors today, Chicago Mike and Jimmy Das Hotep. Chicago Mike, you are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. And if you're watching on replay, tell me what you think about the reaction to Tucker Carlson, or if you have your own reaction, let me know about that too. That's it for today, people. Gotta go. Thank you. My name is P Dog Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I know the Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Night, and I'm out of here.